All right, hello everyone. This is Sir Adrian here, stepping in for Seb Scullion to film the British Empire's turn in our current game of Global War 1914, titled Operation Bersaglieri. So the British don't get any tech rolls still because their one major factory is damaged. They had 30 IPPs to spend. They're going to be using that to purchase 2 colonial infantry, a colonial infantry. Oh, wait, sorry. They're buying 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry for 18, if I'm counting that correctly. Mountain infantry for 4. Yeah, 3 and then 3 colonial infantry, which again, using just the gray chips on their own to represent, and a colonial infantry upgrade for a total of 30 IPPs. There we have it. In terms of attacks, they're not going to have a whole lot. We're going to have the submarine in the Baltic raid the Baltic line. And they controlled a couple White Russians in northern Kazakhstan, in Buryatia, Chita, and Arkhangelsk. So I was told we're going to have the one from Chita is going to combat move into Amur, and that's just a walk-on combat, so they'll take that. And here, we'll grab a marker for it while I'm over here. So this will end up becoming a White Russian territory. So yeah, other than that, no combat. Actually, they will. They'll have an attrition attack from Scotland into northern England and one from Lorraine, where they have an artillery, into Bavaria. So we'll go ahead and roll those first. So they'll both be at a 1. So the one from Lorraine into Bavaria, nothing. And the one from Scotland into northern England, nothing. There we go. For the raiding the Baltic, the British will be the purple. So 4, and then +2 for the sub, so 6-1. So that's going to be max damage. So the Germans will lose 2 IPP due to that. And we'll put the damage marker here. And our little sinking German convoy. There we are. So that's it for attacks. So non-combat movement. The only thing that is going to non-combat move is we're going to have the fleet here. So the cruisers are going to go 1, 2, or 3. The transports are going to move 2. Going to have the pre-dreads move 1. And we'll have the torpedo boat destroyer move 1. Yeah, because they're not boosted. Yeah, that's fine. And, we'll try to get our other torpedo boat that's in blocked in there through the Adriatic Gap. So we have to roll for the mine at a 3 and nothing. So that goes through. I'm not sure. I don't think that would have been a combat, but on non-combat, I think you'd still roll that. So that one will just be in this move 1. We'll move 2. There we are. So that's it for combat movement, or non-combat movement rather. So now it's just placing units. So we're going to have the mountain infantry being built in Scotland. We're going to have 4 infantry being built in London. We're going to have 1 of them built in Ireland. And we're going to have 1 built in the British Midlands. And then for our colonial units, actually, sorry, there will be a bit more non-combat, I'm noticing now. But for our colonial units, those are going to be built down in India, but we are going to have non-combat. We're going to rail this infantry that was in Benares up through Punjab into southern Persia. And that's it for Asia. We just have a rail movement of 1. Then we're going to walk this colonial in Maharashtra over to southern Persia. There we are. And then the one that was already there, that's going to be upgraded. We're going to place a colonial in Maharashtra. We're going to place 1 in Benares. And then we'll move this infantry from Calcutta to Punjab, and then we'll place our colonial infantry in Calcutta. Aside from that, I think that's it. Double checking. Yep, that should be it for the British. So they'll go ahead. Whoops, sorry, just didn't look down in Africa. We'll do. It's a bit out of order, but we'll do an attrition attack from Nubia into Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. Well, I noticed it. It's a miss anyways, as they normally are. So we don't have to worry about that. So the British will go ahead and collect 28 IPP plus 1 for Norway. So 29 IPPs total. However, it's a good thing I remembered this and pointed it out. They will be losing every turn 5 IPPs because the Suez Canal is shut down. And actually, I think if the Suez Canal is shut down, this might be an optional rule, but for the convoy rating, some of that from one of those convoy lines gets reassigned. I'll check the rules about what it is exactly and make a note of that. But yeah, I believe it's 5 IPP. We'll actually check real quick before we end this video just to make sure for the British. But I do believe it's 5 IPP that they lose. Yeah, so Suez. So they lose 5 IPP per turn if it does not own both Gibraltar and the Suez Canal, or if either port of the Suez is blockaded. So it's not blockaded, but they don't own the Suez Canal. So Britain would get 29 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're actually just going to get 24. So 24 IPPs. That'll be it for the British turn. And then we will hand things off to the Austro-Hungarians. And one last thing. I haven't played the Russian Civil War. Good thing I noticed now. The Brits get to roll their recruitment roll for the White Russian units. So they control currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 territories. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yep, there's 5 white territories under their control. So 5 or less. There you go. And that's a hit. So they'd either get 2 militia or an infantry. I'll go ahead and place a white infantry. And Seb Scullion, you can clarify whether you would have wanted 2 militia instead. And in terms of placement, it will be fairly easy. And this goes for anyone who controls white Russian forces. I'd have to double check if it works like that for Finland, Finns, Ukrainians, and Poles. But for a territory to stay a white territory, it has to either have at least a white unit of any kind in it, or for the Allies, it's different for the Central Powers, but for the Allies, an allied unit. So, for example, up in Arkhangelsk, if this unit wasn't here, that would still stay a white territory because you have the British unit there. So yeah, whether it's 1 infantry or 2 militia you choose to get, they have to, or one of them at least has to be placed in Cheetah. If you get 2 militia, you could place another somewhere else. But as I said, for now, I'll just have it as an infantry. And you could let us know if that changes and that could be updated. So now that's it for the British Empire's turn, and we'll hand things over to the Austro-Hungarian.